Those in power rule by force, and the sooner we break ourselves of illusions to the contrary, the sooner we can at least begin to make reasonable decisions about whether, when, and how we're going to resist. We'll skip the 14th and do the 15th premise. I love this one. Love does not imply pacifism. I get this book, they're two big books, and they really were originally supposed to be pamphlets. And you're seeing now, several hours later, why they ended up. And what it was going to be, I found that when I would do talks about fighting back, that the resistance, that the response by the audience was really predictable. And that sort of, a lot of mainstream peace and social justice activists and a lot of mainstream environmentalists, their response would be to put up what I've taken to calling a Gandhi shield. And they would say the words Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Dalai Lama again and again as fast as they can to keep all evil thoughts at bay. And then grassroots environmentalists would do the same thing, but then they would come up to me after the talk and they would say, "Thank you for bringing this up." And then other groups of people like prisoners and family farmers, survivors of domestic violence, American Indians, radical environmentalists, I know I'm missing the poor, a lot of people of color would have an entirely different response, which is they would look at me like, "So can you tell us something we don't know? And let's go, bro." And I realized the difference was that for those latter groups, violence is not some theoretical question to be puzzled through. It's simply a part of life. That doesn't mean you participated in it, doesn't mean you don't participate in it, but it's not some abstract or spiritual question. Not to say that... I'm sorry?
That means you understand it.
It means you know it in your body. Yeah. Yeah. And then the next part of it was that I found that a lot of the responses that I was getting were really stereotypical, not from those latter groups, but from the former group. There was all these cliches that were getting thrown out that the more I thought about them, the less that they meant. Like people would say, "Oh my God, Derrick, if you had enough love, you would never suggest fighting back because if you love, you don't fight back." And I don't think that love implies pacifism, and I think that Mother Grizzly Bears will back me up on this one. I grew up in the country, and in my life, I have been attacked by mother horses, cows, dogs, cats, geese, chickens, mice, hawks, eagles, hummingbirds, spiders, who thought I was attacking their babies. And if a mother mouse is going to take on somebody 8,000 times her size, what the hell's wrong with us? And then another one is, you can't use the master's tools to dismantle the master's house. And I love Audre Lorde. She's great. A, she's not a pacifist, and anybody who ever says this in sort of a pacifistic sense has never read her essay, because it has nothing to do with pacifism. It has to do with we need a wide range of voices is actually what the essay is about. But as much as I love Audre Lorde, I'll tell you this much. She never worked construction, because it doesn't matter whose goddamn tools you use. You use my tools, you use your tools, master's tools, doesn't matter. And there's another problem with that too, which is it presumes that the house belongs to the master, but it's just a house. And it also presumes that the tools belong to the master. It presumes that violence is one of the master's tools. Those in power are trying to tell us that they own the land. They're trying to tell us that they own the water. They're trying to tell us they own genetic materials. I'll be goddamned if I'm going to give them violence too. And once again, I think Mother Grizzlies are going to back me up on this one. What's another one we always hear? Oh God, this one's embarrassing. This is so embarrassing. How many people in here have the book A Language Older Than Words? Okay, those of you who have that book, do you also have like a straight razor or a razor blade? Okay, what I would like for you to do is the chapter Violence Revisited, take the razor, cut the pages out, crumple them up, and throw them away. Put them in the fire. Because, oh God, this is so embarrassing. It's like admitting I'm a compulsive masturbator, which I'm not. Okay, in that book, In that chapter, oh God, this is terrible. I say that if you fight back, you run the risk of becoming like they are. Oh my God, it's like that's so stupid. I mean, does that mean that the woman who kills a rapist runs the risk of becoming a rapist? Does that mean that the tiger who kills a zookeeper runs the risk of becoming a zookeeper? Does that mean that Tecumseh ran the risk of becoming like the people who are stealing his land? It makes no sense. Or what's another one? Oh, this is the best one. And then I'll bash hope for a while. Violence never accomplishes anything. Okay, so if violence never accomplishes anything, what that means is that all the Africans who came over on the Middle Passage, they just jumped on the ships. And then when they're over here, they just worked in the fields for the hell of it. And what this means is that the American Indians, they just saw the white people and they said, hey, you want some land? Your way of living is way better than ours, so just take it. You'll treat it better than we do. And there's this great line by Robin Morgan. She says, anywhere in the world, any woman can be walking alone late at night, and if she hears footsteps behind her, she has reason to be afraid. And she calls that the democracy of fear. Do not fucking tell me that violence doesn't accomplish anything. It has systematically terrorized half of the population of human beings. And violence is dreadfully, dreadfully effective. That's why they use it. Okay, so a few years ago, I got a call from a friend of mine who works on toxics issues in Northern California, and she was crying, and she said, this work's getting to me, it's breaking my heart, this environmental work. I can't take it. I said, yeah, this work really can get to you. It'll break your heart for sure. It'll do that. And then she said, dominant culture hates everything, doesn't it? I said, yeah, it does, even itself. She said, it has a death urge, doesn't it? I said, yeah, it does. She said, unless it stops, it's going to kill everything on the planet, isn't it? I said, yeah, it is, unless it stopped. And then she said, we're not going to make it to some great new glorious tomorrow, are we? And I said, I've been waiting for you to say that. And the reason I said that to her is because about 12 or 13 years ago now, I was undergoing a similar collapse where I was just bursting into tears several times a week over the death of the salmon, sturgeon, bull trout, Selkirk caribou. And a lot of my environmentalist friends were saying, God, Derrick, take some time off. You know, the problems will still be there when you come back. It's so funny. I can always tell activist audiences because they laugh at that, and non-activist audiences don't get the joke. Anyway, I knew that I didn't need to just take time off and then come back to the same old thing. I knew that I had to keep pushing because if you're not going to cry about the death of the salmon, what are you going to cry about? If tears mean anything. And so I just kept pushing. And then one day I called this American Indian friend of mine, Jeanette Armstrong. She's an Okanagan writer and activist. And I said, you know, this work's killing me. It's breaking my heart. She said, yeah, it'll do that. I said, you know, the dominant culture hates everything, doesn't it? She said, yeah, it does, even itself. I said, it has a death urge, doesn't it? She said, yeah, it does. I said, unless it stops, it's going to kill everything on the planet, isn't it? She said, yeah, it is, unless it stopped. I said, we're not going to make it some great new glorious tomorrow, are we? And then she said the best thing she could possibly say, which is, I've been waiting for you to say that. And the reason that was the best thing she could say is because it normalized my despair. It let me know that despair is an appropriate response to a desperate situation. And it let me know that sorrow is just sorrow and pain is just pain. And it's not so much the sorrow or even pain that hurts as it is my resistance to it. I can hold in my heart the understanding that we're really fucked and that life is really good. Okay, and I mean, there's this idea that if you really start to internalize how bad things are, that you have to walk around being miserable all the time. And it's like I got this letter from somebody once asking how my anger at the dominant culture affected my sex life. And I was really tempted to respond, that's a question to which you will never know the answer. But I realized that what that question's about is that question presumes that anger is a shotgun, and that if I'm angry at the dominant culture, and if I'm angry at corporations, I'm angry at my friends. But the truth is, I'm angry at the things that make me angry, and I'm not angry at the things that don't make me angry. And I'm happy because of the things that make me happy, and I'm not happy because of the things that don't make me happy. What a concept. And so anyway, one of the really important things was that I realized that I could feel all those things, and it wouldn't kill me. But there's something even more important happened, which is that I realized that I could feel all those things and it would kill me. And there's a wonderful thing about being dead, which is that once you're dead, they can't touch you anymore. You can still sing, and you can still dance, and you can still make love, and you can still fight like hell, but they can't touch you. Not with threats, not with promises, not with violence, not with anything.